Welcome to JC Sports. I'm your host, Joe Chapp. We're going to be talking Detroit Lions football because today Dan Campbell spoke to the morning show at 97.1 The Ticket. And when you hear Dan Campbell talk to the morning show, you're like, okay, what is he going to say in the face of adversity? What is he going to say to calm my mind? Because, look, I think after what happened Sunday, losing Lee McNeil for the year, we didn't even know about Dave Montgomery. We knew about Carlton Davis and Ali McNeil, but we didn't know about Monty. I think a lot of people started to freak out. Myself included, I started to freak out. And then you look at the IR list that's on the people on the IR list, and you look at who's on the IR list, what are they doing? When are they going to come back? Like Anzalone or Hutch, who was on a podcast with Taylor Lautner, which is unbelievable because Taylor Lautner in 2020 and Aiden Hutchinson doing a podcast like 4 years ago would have been like the cat's meow. But he was on a podcast and he said he would be ready for the Super Bowl. And myself alone, I think I can't expect a Super Bowl. Like I can't expect the Detroit Lions to go to a Super Bowl. But I heard Dan Campbell talk yesterday. And this is what I said Sunday after the loss. I said the Lions have lived on the edge, but if Lehman and Carlton Davis are out indefinitely, the Super Bowl is dead. The Lions won't quit because of the culture, but to get to the Super Bowl and win it, you need luck every year to win because the battle of attrition is so big. This is too much to overcome. As sad as it is, Dan Campbell knows it because he wants to squeeze every possession with a score. He won't admit it publicly because he definitely won't. But talent wins, and most of the Lions' talent is on IR. So I needed to hear Dan Campbell speak because, to be honest, when you hear Dan Campbell speak, you want to run through an effing wall. That's just the way it goes in this town. So here is Dan Campbell yesterday talking to the media.
I'm good. I woke up yesterday. I'm ready, man. I've got controlled fury, and I'm ready to go. I'm absolutely ready to go. I don't go the other way. So, and the team won't either. We're on a mission, and we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves and wallow in everything. We had plays to make, we didn't make them, and it's a tight game, a good opponent, playoff type atmosphere, and you got to make that one extra play that we didn't. And so we will use this as fuel. I got pure octane right now. I woke up, I'm ready. So we're moving forward.
So you hear Dan Campbell talk about having pure octane. You hear him talking about we're not going to make excuses, which we've heard from Dan Campbell before. He said it on Moving the Chains. I played that audio clip in a ton of other videos. But then today he dropped something at 97.1 The Ticket that was just spectacular, and I wanted to elaborate on that. So let me play that clip right now.
And look, I don't. You know what happens is, you win 11 in a row, and you lose, and then the sky falls. And I hate to say it, but we're not going to be able to win 11 in a row again for the rest of this season. We're just not going to be able to do it. And, what happens is you get used to eating filet, and I'm talking to all of us, and everything's good. Life's good, but you forgot what it was like when you had nothing and you ate your fucking molded bread, and it was just fine, and it gave you everything you needed. And sometimes you got to get punched in the mouth and remember what it used to be like to really appreciate where you are. And we'll do that. And so we got a bad taste in our mouth. We got kicked around the other day. We lost a few guys. And you know what? It's exactly what we needed. This is exactly what we needed. So we're going to bounce back. We're going to respond. We got guys that are about to have an unbelievable opportunity here. And we will play the game any way needed to win. We still got a good offense. We got plenty of defensive players. I can go rattle them off right now. We're going to put the best 11 on the field. We're going to freaking cut it loose. We're going to play with our special teams. And I don't give a crap if we got to win by 1 point for the rest of the year. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to be happy about it. We come out of the game with 50 yards of total offense and we win by 1, you're going to see smiles on my face. I promise you. All right? If it's the other way defensively, we give up 700 yards and we win by 1 point, you're going to see a fucking smile from my ear to ear. All right? I can promise you. So we're going to find a way and we're going to get it done.
So Dan Campbell was fired up, man. He was fired up. And you could see John Jansen, who played tackle for the Redskins and at Michigan, won a national championship. You could see he was fired up too. But here's the thing. We talk about Dan Campbell. We talk about what is he, how good of a coach is he? And when we talk about how good a coach can be, we talk about how you motivate people. How do you get people to follow your lead. And when you have a leader like Dan Campbell, who he's not sitting here, he's not feeling sorry for himself, he's not making excuses. He's simply saying, look, we lost to the Buffalo Bills and we're going to be ready for it. And then he said, what I loved in that video, that clip that I played you from Nice I Won the Ticket, I loved where he said, we will win any way necessary. They will win any way necessary because we know looking forward to this Detroit Lions team and this season that we have to finish here. We have 3 games left in the regular season. Everything is in front of the Detroit Lions as it stands right now. I made that post Sunday about, the Super Bowl dream is dead. Maybe I'm living it in the wrong way. Maybe I'm thinking about the wrong way. The way I thought about it was like, look, my expectation for this team was to win a Super Bowl. I can't say that no more. But here's what I can say. We as Lions fans, I'm talking to all of us, take it game by game, just game by game, possession by possession. We got to take it possession by possession because I know this from Dan Campbell. I know this from this Detroit Lions team. I know what we have seen from this team so far. They don't quit. They don't. They outwork you. They come ready to play, and they will put 40 on you in a heartbeat. They didn't play their best game against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday, and they still put up 42 points. It says a lot about this team. Now, Dave Montgomery being out does hurt. No doubt about it. When you talk about Dave Montgomery being out, that's a big loss for the Detroit Lions team. But when you want to think about it like this, there's no leader that could lead this team right now that I would feel comfortable leading. And here's the thing: we are in a state of Detroit for sports right now where, in my opinion, we have 2 good coaches. Bickerstaff, I'm still waiting on. I want to see more, but I like the returns on him as well. But when I talk about power ranking these coaches in the city of Detroit, I think Dan Campbell and AJ Hinch. And what do these 2 guys have in common with each other? They know how to motivate, they know how to lead, and they know how to get the most out of their players. And when you talk about the injuries that are happening to the Detroit Lions, and you look at all the people on the IR list, just look at it. Makai Wingo, Aiden Hutchinson. You're going to have Carlton Davis on IR. You're going to have Illy McNeil on IR, Rodrigo, Jalen Reeves-Maben, Derek Barnes, Alex Anzalone. You go down the line. There's so many people. They're out. They're not coming back. There's some that are coming back, but this is where I say you got to take a game-by-game basis because we don't know what's going to happen. Getting Alex Anzalone back would definitely help. Getting back Derek Barnes would definitely help. When are we going to get back John Kaminsky? Maybe not this year, maybe this year. You never know what can unfold as we go through the season. 3 games to finish out the season. Get the 1 seed. That's the key. Get the 1 seed. We don't have to worry about getting, we don't have to worry about the Super Bowl right now. I think that was my mistake I made. I made the mistake of thinking the Super Bowl was the expectation. The Super Bowl was the goal in mind. And I was looking too into the future, not into the present. And we got to go back to the roots. If you played sports, you know what I'm talking about. You got to go back to game by game basis. There's no other way to put it. This Detroit Lions team is different. Any other team right now would have folded. They've had so many damn injuries. They've had so many players on this roster that could definitely help. Hutchinson could have helped, obviously. Derek Barnes, John Kaminsky early in training camp. There's a lot of players that are out, and this team still is a lot, has 2 losses on the season with 3 games left. And they're going to go play the Chicago Bears, and they're going to go on the road to play the San Francisco 49ers, and they're going to play a division game for the division with the Minnesota Vikings. And I can guarantee you this. I will guarantee you this. Dan Campbell will have that team ready to go. He will have that team ready to go. I can't say right now with conviction that this Detroit Lions team is going to the Super Bowl. I can't say that. I wish I could. I can't say that right now. But what I am going to say is I'm going to take this by a game basis because when you look at it and going back to my roots, this is what Dan Campbell, basically what he said is made me go back to my roots. Less sensationalism, and let's go back to the roots of when I played football, when I played hockey, when I played baseball. It was a game by game basis. You never took it, you never looked into the future, said, we can win those games right there and then we're good. No, you were taking it a game by game basis. And that's the biggest thing that could be said. This Detroit Lions team has the offense to compete. They're going to have to win shootouts. We all know that. But we know that Jared Goff is a capable quarterback. We know that JMO is a home run threat at every given level. Sam Laporta is a good tight end. And then we are going to see what Sion Vaki has, and we are going to see what Jahmyr Gibbs can look like with the lead back role. Now we don't know what he's going to look like. Obviously, they're not gonna try to overwhelm him. They're gonna put Vaki in the game. They're gonna put Reynolds in the game. But I feel like those guys are ready to come in and ready to produce, and they were on the roster for the reason. Another thing, when I look at this Lions team and I look at the way that they are put together, it says a lot about Brad Holmes. It says a lot about Dan Campbell, the way this roster is constructed. They have been tested so much in their depth at the defensive position. To be in the spot that they're in right now with only 2 losses with 3 games left is saying a lot about this team. And when you look forward with the Detroit Lions and the 3 games left that they got, they're winnable games. They're winnable games, but we have to take it a game by game basis. I love what Dan Campbell said. He's obviously talking to his team and he's talking to the fans through the radio, and that's okay. We know what he's going to say. He wasn't going to come out and say, "Oh, this is horrible." I know there's more people out there like me. I know there's more people out there like me. There's more people out there like me that said after the game, the Super Bowl dream is dead. The Lions won't quit, obviously because of the culture, but it's a battle of attrition. We all know that to win a Super Bowl, it's very, very hard, and usually the best teams don't win because you get to this time of the year, everyone's hurt, everyone's dealing with injuries, and you got to power through. And the way I look at what Detroit Lions is this: they're not going. Where I'm not going to look to be the expectation for the Super Bowl. I'm gonna take this by game basis. That's all I can do. I think that's all we us as fans can do. All us as podcasters can do. We can't go forward and look at this and say the Super Bowl was the expectation. I'm not changing my tune. That's not going to happen. We have to move forward and look at what could be happening down the line, and that's the most important thing here. What Dan Campbell said today wasn't just going to fire up the team. Wasn't just going to fire up the team. What Dan Campbell said, fire up the city. And I think a lot of people needed to hear what Dan Campbell said because it reaffirms the position that this guy is the right person to lead this team at this current time. And if you were to put another person in Dan Campbell's spot, I don't think they would be successful. That's just the reality. Because when things get hard in life, there are 2 types of people. There are people that take it and run with it, and there's another person that says, I'm going to quit. This is too hard. We don't have any shot. Dan Campbell is not a quitter, and this team is not a quitter. And I think this Lions team is going to be good going into the last 3 games. And we're going to see what they have to offer. We're going to see exactly what they have to offer. And if they've come up short, look, we know that they put everything into it, but injuries just got the best of them. But as it stands right now, I'm going to go take this by game basis. That's all you can do. And that's exactly what Dan Campbell and this team is going to do. And let's ride with it and let's see what happens. But I think we're going to be in a better spot. The goal right now should be the number 1 seed. That's just the goal. And then we'll move forward from there because anything can happen in the NFL postseason. We all know that. And if you've watched football, watched sports in general, you know anything can happen at any given time. So this is a big test for us as a fan base and for the team as a whole. But there's no guy that can lead this team and this franchise like Dan Campbell. That's just the God honest truth. And if you want more videos like this, we'll have more videos like this on the JC Sports YouTube page. Please subscribe and follow for more. And we'll have more YouTube content for you guys as we go forward with the Detroit Lions season. But, man, Dan Campbell, he's a total dude, and we are happy to have him in Detroit.